Hi, I'm Penny Reeve. I'm a children's and young adult author, and in today's video I'm answering the question, what is a children's book? So what is a children's book? It's pretty simple, I guess. Children's book, which implies it's a book for children. But if you're talking about children's book in the children's book writing world, we'll often find that it's the range of books that are intended for children and young people. So a children's book can go from being a board book for babies and toddlers through to picture books, chapter books, junior fiction, novels, non-fiction all the way through, and then young adult novels for the older readers. Gets a bit blurry up the young adult novel end because sometimes a lot of adults actually enjoy reading YA. I mean, why not? YA is great. I love reading YA. But so you can get into a whole bunch of debates about where does YA end and adult fiction start, and I'm just going to park that over there because I love the whole spread of what you can do in children's lit. That's why I love to write in this space. The key thing I think that sets apart a children's book opposed to any other kind of book is the audience. It's fairly obvious, but I think it's worth kind of thinking about a bit more because a children's book is designed for a child reader, which as an author and a writer, I'm not sure if that's where you're at, it introduces a few interesting dynamics in that I'm an adult, I live an adult life, and yet I am writing books for kids. But I have to keep my child audience in mind because who your child audience is determines so many things as a writer. It determines the language that you'll use, it determines the style of book, it determines the format and the way that you do your narrative and your storytelling, and the sort of literary devices that you use along the way to convey your meaning. If you forget who your reader is, then you can forget how to address those kinds of things. The language use that you would use in a chapter book, for example, like where you're encouraging kids to learn to read, that is a different kind of vocabulary as to what you might use in a picture book, because a picture book is designed to be read to the child, so it can have all sorts of fabulous language. Whereas a chapter book, you need to be careful that you're not going to cripple those early attempts of reading. So being acutely aware of your reader is really important. Picture books are another kind of part of writing for kids that can get a bit blurry because some picture books are definitely not for kids. I love a picture book called Cicada by Sean Tan, and it's amazing, but I wouldn't read that with very young children. And I think there's a beauty about picture books in that it can be a medium that you use for all sorts of age groups. Children's books because they're written for the child, it's interesting when it comes to marketing and things that you have to think about as a writer, because the children very rarely buy their own books. It's the adults who buy their books. They're sometimes called the gatekeepers. And the adults and the librarians and the grandparents and the parents and aunties and the uncles, they're the people who've got the financial ability to buy the book. So there's this weird dynamic where you're writing for the child, but you also have to appease the parent. But I think as a children's author, if I'm ever ending up in a situation where I feel like my manuscript and my critical look at my work in progress is mainly about the adults, then I have a problem personally, because I'm trying to write good books for kids that kids will enjoy and get something out of. And so that's what I think a children's book is. A children's book is a book for kids and for young people where you're meeting them where they're at with a story or non-fiction, and you're engaging them in a really cool way. If you really like this video and you reckon you'd like to see more of them, please click like and subscribe. And if you have some questions about writing for kids that you'd like me to address in another video, pop that in the comments and I'll see if I can get to it soon. Thanks for watching.